Welcome to the Rooted Goddess podcast with your host, Leslie Sprague, where we talk all things wellness, woo-woo, life, and everything in between. As a small-town mom of two amazing kiddos, I understand the challenges of what it's like to stay grounded and go after your dreams. My goal for this podcast is to inspire you to root down so you can grow stronger, rise up, and let your light shine bright so you can be the goddess you are truly meant to be. Think of this as your one-stop shop. It's happy hour with a gal pal while getting truthful and heartfelt about taking the steps forward to living your best life. Welcome to the Rooted Goddess podcast, and I'm your host, Leslie Sprague. So for today's topic, we are going to talk about your monkey mind. So your monkey mind is those moments when you can't stop the thoughts. You're thinking about this thing and that thing and the other thing. Or maybe you're in meditation and you're trying to quiet your mind. And all those things keep popping up in your head. Or maybe in Shavasana, same thing. Those monkey mind thoughts just keep popping up. So when we have those moments, it can be helpful to have a few little tricks, and these are some of ones that I use a lot. A few little tricks to help quiet that monkey mind, those overabundance of thoughts and the rambling, like going from here, there, everywhere. So first tip that I use is when I am in Shavasana or something like that. One of my favorite tips to use, and I'm a very visual person, so these are a little bit more visual. But when my eyes are closed, I like to imagine that I am sitting at a play or a movie theater or something of that similar nature. And when my monkey mind gets acting up, I like to close the curtains of that theater. So it tells my mind that the show's over. And I just try to keep my focus as much as I can on those black curtains, and to help focus on that the show's over, the thoughts need to go away for right now, and just let me be quiet. The second tip, this is another one of my favorites, is I like to imagine that because a lot of people, when they think of mind, we automatically focus on the brain. That's what we associate with our minds. So I like to envision that my skull is a giant bathtub. And when I have all these thoughts going crazy in my head, I fill that bathtub up with water. And at the back of my head, right at the base of the skull, beginning of the neck, I like to imagine that there's a little bathtub plug there. And when I pull that plug, all those thoughts go washing down the drain with the bathwater. So then it helps to practice that quietness, because you're just throwing those thoughts out with the bathwater. And then the other one, this one's a little bit different. in a sense. So when you're trying to focus on a specific task, or you want a little bit more order in your thoughts, and these are just things that I do, so I thought I would share them with you so that maybe you'll find one that you resonate with. But this one is if you want a little bit more order in your thoughts, and instead of jumping around here, there, and everywhere, you want to stay focused on one task at hand. I like to envision that inside my head, there is a rope. And if you think of it like what you see on the movies or things like that, like where you line up to get into a club, that's the only thing. I don't know where else you would line up. Maybe for a show or a Black Friday sale, maybe people line up a lot for. But I like to just imagine that my thoughts are like either little people or parcels, whatever comes for you. Imagine that those thoughts are now formed in that line. And with that lineup, you can only deal with the one at the front of the line first. So it kind of can help to create a bit more order and organization with your thoughts. And you know what? Your monkey mind can be very active. So this is a muscle that we have to work. And sometimes you'll either have to close the curtains several times in order for it to just keep hammering that home. No, I'm only focusing on the black curtains or the drained bathtub or the lineup in my mind. Because it does take time. It takes a practice, and don't beat yourself up if you have to do this a few times, because there are many times when I have to focus on those things a few times or resync and reset. It's a muscle, training your mind to quiet, because, and I've said this before, in today's society, we are go, 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 and we don't take the time for the quiet. The quiet is so essential. It helps to recalibrate our bodies. It helps us to focus in on what we are needing and wanting, because when our mind is so full of thoughts and to-do lists and things like that, we can't properly hear those innate wisdom nudges that we get. So when we quiet our mind, it helps us to reconnect the communication lines with our innate wisdom so that we can hear it a little bit better each day. Thank you so much for listening, and let me give you a virtual hug, big squeeze, as a token of my appreciation. At the very least, I hope you had some fun while listening and maybe even learned a thing or two. And bonus points if I got a chuckle out of you. If you liked this episode, it would mean the world to me if you could leave me a 5-star review, or if you know someone who could benefit from listening, share it on your Insta stories and tag me at Leslie's Yoga and Wellness. Subscribe to this channel if you want to stay up to date with new episodes. By doing these things, it helps to get my podcast noticed so that people who need to hear my message are more attracted to it. Please feel free to stop by my website, lesliespragg.com, and grab a copy of my free Mom Self-Care Kit. While you're there, grab a free few yoga classes. Namaste, goddesses. Until next time.